All right, music fans, Harmless Dave here, talking about real stuff, music related stuff in this episode, and doing it in real time for a few real people out here, just like you and just like me. All right, so my buddy Johnny from Australia sent me an article, and he's not a crazy conspiracy theorist. His hair isn't on fire. Um, he knows how I feel about certain issues. I'm sure he'd rather talk about Australian bands, which we do a lot. Um, Here's the story he sent me. Midnight Oil's Rob Hurst reveals cancer diagnosis. He says, I've had pretty much every treatment known to man. So, Rob Hurst is 69 years old. He is the drummer with Midnight Oil. It's a band I kind of like. I mean, I mentioned them the other day. Kind of quirky, but I like them. Um, he co-founded the band in the 1970s, so that's pretty big. According to the drummer, he discovered he had the disease just 6 months after the band completed their huge run of farewell tour dates across Australia in 2023. All right, so dates are important here. And here I'm going to interject something. And for some, it's going to be controversial. What did Australia do, probably more than any other country on this planet, back in 2021 and 2022? I'm just putting it out there. There, as people all they often lecture me and they say, "You have no proof and there is no connection." Okay, well, but the coincidence, the timing should, for some people, raise a few red flags. If not a red flag, then, maybe we ought to do a peer reviewed study on this stuff. He then said he has had multiple types of treatment to fight the cancer and has been receiving constant medical assistance. Now, one thing that's really good for the healthcare industry is someone who needs constant medical assistance. I mean, it goes without saying, right? It's good for business. He went on to say it's ongoing. Every scan, every ultrasound, MRI, I've kind of had the works, he said. He further went to explain how he had found the cancer early and that his tumor was caught by medical professionals at stage 3. His treatments have included an unsuccessful 8-hour Whipple surgery. Don't know what that is, which was done to try and remove the tumor, as well as chemotherapy and radiotherapy. Coming up to 2 years, I just thought I need to get this literally off my chest, he told the outlet, the news outlet, revealing why he is opening up about the diagnosis now. He says, also, I think the lesson for me, and maybe why I've lasted this long, is because if you do have any of that kind of symptom, where there's something that you feel is wrong, just go and get a simple blood test. Could be life changing and life extending. He also said he wanted to shed light on the health battle in an attempt to bring more awareness to pancreatic cancer, which he says has really attracted the attention, for example, more so than skin and breast cancers as of late. Basically, he's saying it didn't get as much publicity as it's been getting, maybe more recently. I don't know. Midnight Oil, by the way, was formed back in 1972. They broke out with their 1982 record, which was a countdown of numbers from 10 to 1. Um, the one that I really got into was Diesel and Dust, 1987, and then Blue Sky Mining in 1990. Those are my two favorites. But people in Australia really love their stuff. Um, anyway, uh, I is there a correlation? Is there a connection? I can't. Nobody can prove this. This is why I think this is, if it's true, it is one of the greatest crimes of humanity. If it's not true, it's fodder for conspiracy theorists to get your mind off of your own problems and maybe problems that could be solved. I don't know, but it is kind of strange, right? We've got all this technology. We are going towards singularity, right? We're just rushing to that point. There should be something to counteract cancer. I'm not being, over the top by saying this. There should be treatments that go in there, find these cells and destroy them. And we should put more research, more focus on this. And as far as the other thing that I'm concerned about, he should tell people. He should say, "Hey, I did this." Even if he doesn't suspect that that's the cause, he should come out and tell people. Why? Because maybe someone will look into this and say, "Wonder if there's a correlation." Now, again, if you go to the dark corners of the internet, and they're not that dark and they're not really in the corner, but if you do some research and not go through the typical experts, in quotations, you probably are going to find out that you're either being lied to or not all of that information is getting to the mainstream. If, like I always say, if this could be prevented in the first place, it's a lot easier to deal with a cause than try to treat symptoms later on. But that's our entire medical industry is geared toward treating symptoms. And again, he's had every kind of treatment, every procedure in the book. Who pays for that? Maybe the Australian healthcare system pays for that. I don't know, which again would be funded by the taxpayers of Australia. So somebody has to pay for it. But then there's this theory, modern monetary theory, where you just keep racking up debt and you just print more money, and the money continues to lose its value because we don't really solve any of those problems either. I mean, that would be another rabbit trail to go down. So our thoughts and prayers obviously go out to this guy. He is a cool drummer. He is a good drummer. This band has a great drum sound. Midnight Oil. Rob Hurst. So send your prayers out to Rob Hurst. It would be cool if people started to just step forward. I mean, what do you got to lose? I know what you've got to lose. Fans are going to rebel. Half the people are going to say you're crazy. And then you're going to be called a conspiracy theorist and all of that fun stuff. So maybe he just doesn't want to deal with that. Maybe he's been told. You don't know. Probably not. But he could have been told, "Hey, don't even go there." So this is why engagement is lower on some platforms, and you can't get your message. You think you're getting your message out there, and then, oh, look, I've got almost 4,000 subs and I'm getting 300 views. It's kind of weird. Where some other channel has 1,100 subs and they've got 32,000 views on a ridiculous video. Or not ridiculous, but just something very innocuous that I'm sure is being recommended in everyone's feed, whereas mine won't be. So, yeah, am I complaining? A little, but I've got, overall, I've got not very much to complain about. So, anyway, I don't know how you feel about all this stuff. I know a lot of people just tune out, they click out, they're like, "Oh no, here he goes again." I like it when you talk about music, but, yeah, it's music related. Midnight Oil, their drummer, he's got cancer, stage 3. It's kind of a big deal. Anyway, folks, God bless this guy, and I'll be back. So stay tuned for more content on this platform, the Harmless Dave channel. Don't forget also Patreon, YouTube memberships, buy me a coffee. Someone bought me a coffee the other day for my Bernie Sanders impression. I might have to do it again. Not in this video, but who knows? It's gotta be appropriate for the content in order for me to attempt that again. Or you could just watch Bernie. You can watch Bernie highlight reels, and that's always a good time.